All right, here's how we're looking, fully dry. So what I'm gonna do just real quick before I get the day started. Okay, so just real quick, I talked about how I wanted to paint every day, and I was thinking about how if I just have a model on my desk that I can just put like 5 or 10 minutes on right before I start my actual my work for the day, I can accomplish that. So what I did is I dry brushed the fur, and you can still see parts of it are drying. I dry brushed the fur again with, I mixed in Charming Chartreuse with our vanilla yellow and dry brushed the stuff on the body. And I did a little bit more on the foot right here. And then I let that dry, and then I hit it again with Charming Chartreuse over top of it. So now I have a lot more of that. I'm not getting, the lighting's not very good, but there we go. I got a lot more like color separation between the fur and like a difference in the body. And then I mixed in some of that pink with the same vanilla white and highlighted the top right here. So now that just looks a lot better. And also on the face, I noticed there were little teefies there. So I just 2 colors, I just went over it. I started with, I mixed Charming Chartreuse with our off-white, and then I highlighted with the vanilla white and Charming Chartreuse. And then I also, on that one eye socket back there was empty, but I just put a little dot of white paint. And now that really just added so much to the face. And also, it's not really coming through, but I glazed a little bit of the Charming Chartreuse on the nose and the chin there. And then just hit 2 edge highlights on the back of that pink wrap too. All right, I already recorded this once and I wasn't in frame. So, selfie mode. Okay, boom. This is the giveaway. Mybalor, Drek, Mybalor, War, Dark Fang, Chaos Sorcerer Lord. The commemorative series, still sealed in the shrink and everything. This was the Warhammer Plus, like 1 year subscription model, I think for the first year. So I think it's a pretty cool, hopefully pretty rare find to give away. If you've ever commented on any video ever, I'm gonna make sure you're entered. I'm just gonna use some tool that like grabs comments. Okay, so if you've ever commented on any video ever, you're gonna enter to win. I'm gonna go like a week. All right, so I'm looking at my calendar and when I can get to the post office again. I will announce winners on Wednesday the 14th, and then I'll ship it out. Like I'll DM you or have you DM me or something, email me, and then I'll ship it out that Friday the 16th. So like a week and a half to get your comments in. If you've already ever commented on a video, you're already entered, but feel free to comment again. And like I said, I'll do this on the 14th. I'm looking at my calendar. We'll do the drawing on the 14th for this. All you gotta do is comment below. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for subscribing. It's crazy that we hit 100. I'm just gonna let it run a week because I know like not everybody's watching every video every week, but there we go. Well, this light is very bright. Looking at it straight on. But today is like the first Monday of the new year. Last year was kind of like the half week, and I was still just like pretty sick. It's like, this is crazy. Never been this sick in my life. I've said that every video. I feel like normal body wise, but just like not, except for like here to here. I don't know why I'm telling you that. But anyway, today it's all about goals, both for like the channel, hobby life, professional life, personal life. Gonna figure out like what I want to accomplish this year, what the primary goals of everything. I've always been kind of big on planning, just from the business side of things. You kind of have to, and that's always kind of like bled over into the personal side. And really for me, there is no like business, personal. It's just like this is the life I want to live. So I don't distinguish between like work and play. Like it's all just play, hopefully, is the goal. So I'm gonna do that today. All right, so there's a ton of different digital ways of doing this, but I like to just keep it analog as much as possible. I've tried all the digital tools. I've learned over the years that there is a lot of power in a pen and doing it versus just doing it digitally. So I trade the sacrifice and productivity for intention and actually getting shit done. And yes, I finally started One Piece. Today marks the day I'm finally starting One Piece. I've been holding out for a long time. But all right, we're gonna just start planning, and we'll be back. All right, real quick, you can get cute with it and use like highlighters and a bunch of different markers and all that kind of thing. I'm just gonna use a simple pen. This is not a simple pen. This is a very cool pen. Tactile turn. I've been carrying this every day for like 3 years, and it was brass. Look at the patina on that bad boy. I got this I got this to mark 2 years of sobriety, and I've been carrying it for 2 years. Actually, yeah, so I've had it for 2 years. But anyway, and I'm just gonna write it down, and then I'll show you guys my system, explain it if you're interested in that kind of thing. Here we go. Okay, so I got my personal goals done. Just 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, 1 year, then 90 days. And that methodology is from a book called Scaling Up by Vern Harnish, if you're interested in that. I found it really just works, period. Works personal, works for business. That 10-year goal, like they call it a big, hairy, audacious goal. That should be something that's so crazy it seems impossible. And for me, that's a successful miniature company, which is just crazy to even think about right now. So that's my big, crazy goal. We got a bunch of other goals and stuff. Not really gonna get into those. I don't think you guys really care. But the most important thing is like you start at 10 and then work your way down, and all of your goals should build towards those. And like I only have like 3 or 4 big goals at the 10-year mark. And then as I go down and closer to the 90 days, by the time I get to 90, I have like 10 or 11 major goals for the next 90 days. And those 90 days are all the immediate things that build towards the 1 year, build towards the 2 year, build towards the 5 year, build towards the 10 year. So now that that's done, I'm gonna really like get into the weeds on the hobby project side of things now. All right, I've gone through and I've looked through all the nooks and crannies of my office down here. I've looked through all my shelves, all my piles of junk, and I think I finally have everything written down, which is crazy. It's insane to look at it. So this is everything. Most of it I like already own, and then there's a very small amount of things that I'd like to trade for. And a lot of it's like Lord of the Rings stuff, just because I love Lord of the Rings. You know, it's hard not to. And it's funny, like the older, like when you're a kid, you read Lord of the Rings and you love it, and then you go through like that middle period where you're like, oh yeah, grimdark. No, there's no good guys. Everybody's bad. Everything's a gray area. And then now that I'm older, and I mean I'm not like that much older. I'm 35. That's depending on your age. I'm either like super old or I'm still young. But the older I get, and especially now with kids, I realize that things actually aren't gray, and there is a hard right and a hard wrong. And usually, if something is gray, it's you trying to justify the wrong. And I've gone full circle back to loving Lord of the Rings. That was a weird tangent, but anyway, so Warmachine projects, Crucible Guard, obviously right in the middle of that. Menoth, my Menoth, almost the entire faction, every model ever, I almost have done. I need to paint 2 units of Avengers, and I need to paint the Visigoth dude, and I will literally have that entire faction painted. So keeping both of those. I'm gonna put a dot next to them. Those are both keeps. Retribution of Scyrah. Man, I love the models, and I think those models are so unique and so cool, and the aesthetic they have is not found anywhere else. I really like how like elves are aliens. It's kind of how that goes. So these are definitely keeps, but I'm not that excited about painting them. Or no, actually, let me rephrase that. I'm not that excited about playing them. I'm very excited about painting them. So it's going to be kind of hard to fit them in, because as you can kind of see over here, I have the year laid out in like 4 projects. Most months have 4 weeks, a little bit of a buffer, and sometimes there's 5 weeks. But there's a lot more over here than there is over here. So I got to narrow this down. I have my Dusk and Fane of Nero. Those are definitely both keeps. I only have a little bit of Dusk, really just a couple of things that I wanted to paint. Like just the Phantasm and my Kazaroth box. That's literally the only Dusk I have. And then the Fane of Nero starter set. So that'll be a quick project, like a month. I'll probably devote to that to knock that out. Crix. Let's see. Crix is a tough one. Crix is a tough one because I have Satixis, which one is pretty rare. I have that whole side of the faction. I have the Scar pirate boat. I really love some of those models, and then some of them are really dated and pretty ugly. I've already stripped them, and I have them ready to prime up and paint. I got a lot of them used. Some of them are new, and I'm on the fence about this one. I think what I'll probably end up doing is trying to like sell some of it. I don't know who's gonna buy it, because I want to keep like the pirate ship. I want to keep Rahera. I want to keep some of that stuff. Just I'll use them in role-playing games and other stuff, just because the models are so cool. But I think this one is probably gonna get cut, because I don't see myself playing it. Although, like the Scar, both Scars are pretty cool casters, or Hare's a cool caster. I just don't see myself playing it. Chimera. This is another tough one. I have the starter set, and then I have enough to take the starter set to 50 points. So like I have a couple more War Beasts. I have Belly Ghoul. I'm definitely going to keep Belly Ghoul because my thinking is he's a mercenary, so you never really know where he might pop up, so I don't want to sell him. But I think I might just sell the rest of my Chimera stuff just because I don't really have any plans on playing it. I don't know. I think it could be handy to have like the starter sets painted, but I don't think so. So I think Chimera is probably going to get sold, so we're going to cross that one out. Brine Bloods, same thing. I just have them from that starter set. There was a time where I wanted to play Chimera, and I thought I was going to go that direction. Then I started playing and then just saw like, didn't want to have to buy like 2 Wyverns, and this was before the Chimera came out. So this was way more of a commitment than I wanted to do. And then Brine Bloods was in that starter set, so that's why I have them. So I'll definitely sell them too. I kind of wanted to keep Chum, but I don't know if I'll be able to sell them if I keep Chum. So I'll probably sell all that. Roll Guard, same thing. Started them, don't actually like them that much. Played, I don't know, probably 5 or 10 games with them between like War Table and stuff. They're very cool. Gonna sell them. Grimkin, also gonna sell these. I've already started the process of selling both of those. Some of my Grimkin I'm gonna keep just also because they're cool models, but I've already started selling some of those off. 5th Division, this is a definite keep. I'm almost done painting that whole faction. And same thing with Armored Core. Armored Core is done. I got a used lot, and then I only had to paint up like 4 or 5 models. And then 5th Division, I just have like a couple of cool things left, like Beast in 09. I got a second Ruin that I'm going to paint. So, and I think, depending on how January shakes out, I think these 2 might be very, very good. So, I thought, like I said, I thought I was going to do Dusk. Decided not to do Dusk because I don't want to spend any money this year. I want to like focus on this whole list of stuff and get it painted. So not doing Dusk, but right now it's either Crucible Guard, 5th Division, or Armored Core for what I'm going to be playing. And maybe Gareth. I think like a Retribution, I think Gareth might be pretty good. So I'm going to wait until January to make a final decision between the 4. I really enjoy painting Crucible Guard. That's why I'm printing and painting those. But I might not actually play them, which seems kind of silly, but I'm just having fun painting them. So that's all I really wanted anyway. And it's not that expensive for me to print them. So it's those 4. Dark Operations, I'm like halfway done painting this whole faction, so I'm going to keep that. But don't have any intentions of playing it. I played like 20 games with them last year, and Siphon is fun. It's cool just kind of like jamming the board up with a bunch of bodies, but I'm looking for something a little bit different play style. I didn't try Thexus out, and I think Thexus might be fun, but it just wasn't as fun as I thought it'd be. And I'm really looking more into like combined arms or ranged. Obviously, between those, I think I really want to try ranged and combined arm stuff. So that's why that's there. Circle. If you're early days of the channel, I tried to make Circle work. It does not work. I am not good enough to make Circle work. And then Storm of the North, I really only have like 4 or 5. I have the Ice King guy, and then a couple of the cool models that are just one off. But again, a lot of those models I want to use. And same thing with Royal Guard, actually. I'm keeping some of those for RPG purposes. So I probably have to trim this down some more in the future, but we're going to leave that here. All right, on to Old World. And if you guys see projects on these lists that you're interested in, let me know, because nothing is set in stone about what I'm going to actually paint. What do you want to see painted on the channel? Orcs and Goblins definitely keeping. Vampire accounts definitely keeping. Chaos Dwarfs. Like most of these I'm keeping. I don't know if I'm going to play the Old World that much, but it's just like the childhood dream. We're going to keep it alive. Beast of Chaos. I'm going to sell these. Am I going to sell them? Yeah, I got to. I don't see myself painting them. I have Hobbits. I 3D printed Hobbits from Max Mini. It's for a Bretonia list. And Ogre Matrods. Both of these, I'm going to cross them off because I'm going to sell the bulk of them. But there's going to be like cool stuff in here that I keep probably for Mordheim, which as you can see, there's a bunch of Mordheim here, but I'm going to talk about that. RPG stuff. I just wrote these here because these are RPG games I want to try. I didn't put the specific models down, but there's a ton of models encompassed in there. All right, Warhammer. I'm pretty sure I'm missing some factions here, but I've already sold a ton. Imperial Fists, I'm going to keep that. Imperial Knights, I'm going to keep that. Thousand Suns, I'm going to keep Behrman, I'm going to keep Magnus, and I'm going to keep a couple of Rubrics for just like a small setup because they're my favorite faction, but that is, for the most part, gone. Same thing, selling that. Those are both going to be pretty painful. Nurgle Demons, I'm going to keep because these are 3D printed Nurgle Demons. Black Templars, I'm going to sell those. Orcs, I've already started selling Orcs. Selling those. Trench Crusade, all of that will stay. I just finished 3D printing it. We'll find time throughout the year to paint those guys. Okay, so Mordheim. I'm not gonna like cross off this list. So this is really just the list of official and supplemental warbands, and I'm gonna use Mordheim as a source of inspiration to paint random models and kind of slot them into these warbands. So like, I don't know how many of these will actually be official Mordheim models. A lot of them will probably be like, I'll use this as a theme to organize and like inspire me to paint other models I want to paint. Infinity, keeping this, and keeping this. That's the only, I have the full Combined Arms faction. I just split it out to kind of like organize myself better. Same with Confrontation. I have a small amount of Confrontation models that I really enjoy. I want to paint all of these to a very high standard. These are my two that I'm allowing myself to keep if I don't paint. All right, we're down here to the bottom. All the Relic Blade I'm keeping. That's all going to get painted this year. I have a ton of Relic Blade. I'm a huge fan of Relic Blade. Haven't painted it. As ridiculous as that sounds, that's going to change this year. Ton of miscellaneous models. These are going to be, I'm going to get the Gardens of Hecate Kickstarter in March that they just did. I got the full product line. Very excited for that. Rangers of Shadow Deep, Death Wizards, Frostgrave, Forbidden Psalm, and the Elven Motley Crews, Battletech stuff. Just miscellaneous models that I want to keep. And then like a ton of Middle Earth armies. A lot of these I already own, and then some of these are going to be things I'm going to trade for. So, am I recording? I'm sure, hey, hi. I'm sure a lot of you have tuned out already. This is pretty self-indulgent for me. I'm just going through my list. I personally want to look back at this video at the end of the year. Can you even see me? Can you look at me? You see me in my eyes and my bald, scruffy head? I'm gonna go back to this video and see how far I came. This actually took a ton of time to do. Now that I'm organized, I can see everything that I need to sell. I can see if I've gone through my whole office down here. I've also sat here and like racked my brain on all the stuff I've thought about wanting to do. So this also has a second purpose of if I'm going through down here and I find something else, I'm just immediately going to sell it because it wasn't important enough for me when I made this list. So I shouldn't keep it. Pretty excited. Been a very productive day. Got a model painted. I'm hoping I can cut these tabs off and have her just pop off the base from the bottom, and I'm gonna get her rebased. But I gotta get to actual real work now. So this might be all for today. Kind of a boring one. Okay, if you're still here, and I don't know why you would be, but I'm sorry for my self-indulgent video. I just want to run through and get my goals down for myself and figure out the plan for the year. I still got to go through and figure out like what I'm going to actually do in each part of the year. I think I definitely got to trim this list down more probably. So if there's anything you guys want to see painted, let me know in the comments down below. I'll jump the list. But I think it's a pretty diverse list in terms of like what's there. Some of it I'll speed paint, some of it I'll like go hard on. I don't know. I want to do Army on Parade too, but I think I'll probably do Middle Earth. Like I technically, right, I could do Orcs and Goblins. I could do my Imperial Fists are actually Horus Heresy. So the Horus Heresy board, and then I could do Imperial Knights for 40k. And then I could also do Middle Earth. So there's 4 Army on Parade boards right there from somebody who's not really playing any of those games yet. Army's March for Warmachine is in March. Army's March is in March for Warmachine. And for that, Crucible Guard is probably what I'll have painted. Maybe 5th Division. I don't know. It really depends on how the rules shake out, right? So like, why? I don't know. I'm rambling to you. I don't know why I'm rambling to you. You guys probably don't care. I'm just talking out loud. But the reason I think that Legacy will be the way is because last year they pretty much ignored Legacy. They didn't really do any actual balancing with Legacy. They kind of like just kind of let it sit. So if they're toning everything else down, I think Legacy will be in a really good spot. And like Gareth has a ton of huge range. And so he doesn't have a lot of sprays. There are sprays, but he doesn't have a ton of them, and it doesn't really rely on them. So if they leave Gareth alone, that's like most of his stuff is like 14-inch shooting or beyond even. There's a lot of 12 to 14, 16-inch shooting. So that could be pretty crazy. 5th Division could also be in a good spot, kind of for the same reason. If they've toned everything else down and they sit where they are with their current range. And again, like if even if they reduce range on those, I think they'll probably still be sitting in a good spot. So we'll see. We'll have to see. I don't know. So I'm going to leave. I'm not going to really plan February other than I'm definitely going to finish Crucible Guard because I want to finish painting it and getting it all painted. And honestly, like if you're still here hanging out at the very end of this long rambly video, I'm probably don't hold me to it, going to give away the whole Crucible Guard army. Like once I finish painting it, that'll probably, like if we get like something crazy like 1,000 subs, I'll probably just give away the whole entire painted Crucible Guard army at the end of the season, if that happens. But like I said, that would be pie in the sky goal. If we get 1,000 subs, I'll give the Crucible Guard army away. But I plan on fully painting it just because it's fun to paint, and I'll probably play it too. Like I definitely see some table time, but I built that Gareth. I pulled that Gareth list out. And I've just been looking at it. It's over there looking at me right now. And at first I was like, I bet this would be really fun to play, but I don't really want to paint it. But now like I'm thinking like this would probably be really, really fun to play if it doesn't get any changes, if they don't nerf it. And then I played 5th Division. That was a ton of fun. So I don't know. I'm really torn between those three. I probably won't play Armored Core just because I don't want to have to buy a second Colossal. I only have one, and like one of the Armored Core lists definitely needs to. And Man of Wars just kind of suck, even without nerfs. But I'm going to keep them just because they're painted, and I like the models. So I don't know. We'll see how it shakes out. Maybe even Dust could be back on the table. Actually, no, it's not because I don't want to spend any money. But there we go. That's enough rambling. This is nothing but a rambling video that you probably only watched to find about the giveaway. So appreciate you guys. Another model painted. I got assembly line production on Crucible Guard back there. Got my goals set. Feeling really good about today. See you tomorrow.